Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. I have got a Watercolor Wednesday to share with you, and I'm going to be using another Stamping Bella image. This one is called Santa and the Misses, and it is part of that Oddball collection that I love so much. So I have pulled in my Fabriano 140 pound hot press watercolor paper, getting my images lined up there, and then I'm going to stamp these out using my Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. I will stamp that a couple times just to make sure I have a nice crisp image. I've taken that here over to my painter's board and I've got that taped down to prevent any warping. I've pulled in my Gansai Tambi watercolors and my Santa Fe brushes, and I'm going to go ahead here and get everything filled in. So I have left in the majority of the painting for those of you who enjoy the process. I will at this point go ahead and turn up the music, and for those of you who just want to watch me finish everything up, you can skip ahead to the 6-minute mark. So at this point, I decided to add a little more texture. I'm going to pull in that Marvy Snow Pen. I used this on the last card as well. I'm just going to place that around Santa's hat and the ball at the end there, and then around the bottom of Mrs. Claus's skirt. I'll add my heat gun there and get that nice and puffed up. That'll add some great texture to the top of these guys here. I did decide off camera that I wanted to trim these characters out, and since I had done that, I decided to turn these into 2 tags rather than 1 card front. So I've gone ahead and fussy cut around the images, and then I did also take my Fiskars fingertip craft knife and I've cut out the insides as well, just to get these as clean as possible. I'm going to be creating some black tags, so I didn't want to have too much white hanging around on the negative areas of my characters. So I have gone ahead here and pulled in some MFT Cherry Crisp cardstock as well as some Dill Pickle cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp out the included sentiment, which is Merry Christmas. I'm using my Versamark ink, and then I will heat set both of these using my Simon Says Stamp Fine Detail White Embossing Powder. You will see as I move forward here, I also stamped these both out in black, but ultimately decided that I liked the look of the white on top of the colored cardstock better. So I've trimmed these out, just going maybe a 1/16 of an inch around the edge of those words there, and I'm going to get my tags put together. This one here is a little bit of a larger tag because my Santa has that big list that's sort of curling out in front of him. So the size on this is 3 by 5. I'm going to add some art glitter glue to the back of my Santa and place him down just at a little bit of an angle there. And then I have my dill pickle sentiment here. I'm going to line that up, and I wanted to add a little bit more dimension, so I will add some of my Scotch foam tape to the back of that. I'm using some 1/4 inch foam tape here. And again, I will go ahead and get these lined up and then press them into place. For the Mrs. Claus tag, I'm going to trim this down slightly. It ended up being 2 3/8 by 5 inches. I wanted to have just a little bit of her peeking off of the edge, just like I did with Santa and his list. So I'll have that cookie plate just hanging over slightly there. And I'm going to grab my sentiments. Again, this is on the Cherry Crisp cardstock. And I'm just laying that out to make sure I have my placement the way I'd like it. Again, I'll add some art glitter glue to place Mrs. Claus down. Just putting her at a slight angle there. And then again, I will pop up my sentiment using that 1/4 inch foam tape. Get everything laid out into place. Now you'll see in a second here, I will trim away just a small portion of that foam tape because I'm placing the Mary over top of where I have that puffed up snow pen. I don't need any foam tape behind, just that little edge there. So I'll peel away the backing and press both of those into place. I have pulled in some of my ribbon from Close to My Heart. This is candy apple striped ribbon, and it is about a 1/2 inch wide. I'm just going to trim off 2 pieces of that, and I'll create some little flags here up at the top of my tags. I had previously done a hole punch, but because this was wider ribbon, I decided to just put that into a V-fold, and I'll do a double staple there to hold that in place. Lastly, I'm just going to add some angles to either edge of my ribbons. And that will complete the tags. I'm going to give you a close-up look at both of them here. Here are a few still shots of the finished tags. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the supplies I used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.